I want to tell you something, and it may just be something. I want to tell you about a special person who only knew what they'd been taught. This person was someone who at times struggled with themselves and how they lived in this world, like most people today. For this person, there was so much external pressures in society, they had lost who they really were. But who were they? As a child, they thought everything was possible. Whatever they wanted to be, they could be. It wouldn't be hard. It'd be like a story, a fantasy film of their ideal life. As that child, it seemed like there was no limitations, just boundless thinking, where they lived in the moment, and they just knew everything would be exactly how they wanted it to be. They would have the career, the family, the happiness, the ideal home, and a wonderful life we all dreamt as a child. But as time went on, something happened, and it wasn't one thing that changed it, that stopped these beautiful dreams. It just slowly crept in. It as if the more they grew, the more they forgot about how their life would be perfect. Through experiences, they began to realize they had to live a certain way, to look a certain way, and to act in a certain way. People said they had to be realistic. They had to get real. They couldn't be the person they once thought they would, as they were told they were living in a fantasy world. They began to buy into external pressures like everyone else. They began to buy into the opinions of people that were around them and society's expectations of how they should be. These people, and even society as a whole, thought they were right, but they didn't know any better, as they were once that child who dreamt boundless dreams but were told to get real. And through the experiences this person went through, they began to look back on their memories, and that told them how they should act in the future. The past was the only definite thing this special friend knew after all. Naturally, this person began to make decisions on what they thought was real and true. Over time, these memories and thoughts and decisions created beliefs that they thought were true as their past told them so. Unfortunately, it led to the creations of beliefs of not being good enough, or at times not being worthy. They feared rejection. They feared failure. It was as if the more they lived, the more they created the limiting beliefs of how they viewed the world around them, and more importantly, how they viewed themselves. They began to settle for second best. Maybe the job they didn't like. Maybe the person they knew they shouldn't be with. Ultimately, they accepted their lot in life, the cards they'd been dealt. These beliefs and values were not what they wanted, but their inner thoughts simply fed that ever-growing and ingrained beliefs of not being allowed what they wanted. I wonder what would have happened if they kept that childlike inner curiosity and the belief they could do, be, or have whatever they wanted. This person didn't know, but they were simply asleep to the real truth. They simply bought into other people's expectations, and even their own. And that expectation was one of struggling and only getting by. What if that person knew, whatever they thought they were actually even more beautiful than that? In fact, no matter what they thought they were always were and always will be more than you could ever imagine. What if they realized that the past experiences were just an illusion they created? That the beliefs they held toward the world were simply self-made illusions? The fear and worry they had, an illusion too. Yes, an illusion. Because it's not real. It's a matter of perception. Their perception was not the real reality. When people said to get real, they were actually becoming and getting less real and more fake. Because when you really go deeper, this person broken down to the smallest level is just pure energy. Energy that vibrates, which moves and has taken form as that person. And if we were simply energy at the smallest level of existence, it would mean everything around them was the exact same. Energy. The people in their life were energy. The physical things around them were condensed energy. And if that were to be true, it would mean that everything else was a sea of energy, going into and out of form, through birth to death, forever energy transcending from one form to the other, always energy. To realize that we're truly interconnected with all that is and all that ever will be. You see, this person didn't realize that they were everything that was around them. They saw themselves as separate though, as an individual cut off from the world, separated from people and things. But it wasn't their fault they were thinking that way. It is what they'd been taught. But there's still more to remember now. That would even shock, anger and cause people to refuse to even believe. But all things they didn't like in others were simply a reflection of what they had within them. And the wonderful qualities they saw in others were also wonderful qualities of themselves. In fact, this person was like a small part within the whole of everything else. But what they didn't realize was that everything else, the whole, was inside of them. The fear only existed in this person through them not being the real them. Fear in a way was holding them back from being the real them, their true potential, and they didn't realize that life begins on the edge of your comfort zone. Fear was something that separated from them, from everything else they wanted to be. But fear was all my friend knew, but it wasn't their fault. It is what they've been taught. But it makes you wonder inside that fear is a man-made creation, that as people we gave life to fear, and even the beliefs that we hold inside ourselves, and the world we perceive around us. But fear only simply feeds more fear. Fear caused that person to focus on what they didn't want to happen, but ironically it caused them to focus on more of it, and gave life to more fear. But what was this person really? They are love. Love is the only thing that we really are. The thing that only exists, and everything else is an illusion. Love ultimately transcends all, even things we feel we cannot change. Love is something that if you lived and breathed in every moment, would change your world and your perception of it, even yourself. But this special friend tried to make too much sense of the world around them by labeling their experiences, by making decisions, having the beliefs and values which ultimately didn't serve them and ultimately made them feel disconnected. But it was a lie, as they are everything. This person didn't realize that they were love, that the fear they held was an illusion. In fact, everything they saw in the world was an illusion other than love. If that person realized how beautiful and wonderful they really are, they could then create what they wish, to see themselves looking through the eyes of love, so they could get more and accept nothing less than bliss. They could live the life that they wanted, a life free of boundaries and limitations. But if this special friend really chose, they could no longer have to buy into others' expectations to act or be a certain way. That they could no longer be asleep. They could reawaken and re-remember who they really are. To remember that rather being a product of what life gives them, they could allow life to be a product of what they choose to create, and that they were love in the purest form. You see, this person is the most wonderful person. This person is pure love, and is beautiful exactly the way they really are. That is what is real, and that is the real them. For this friend to finally realize that they were the ultimate, that they are the part and the whole, that the world they see around them is a mere reflection of themselves, that they could choose to create the life that they wanted. They no longer have to settle. They could be whoever they wanted to be, but they know at the smallest part of themselves they are love, and to the largest part, they are love. The type of love that changes all. Not the labeled love that we become accustomed to, but a deeper love. A love that is not just for someone else, but for all, and especially for themselves. That they are the light, which can light up the illusionary darkness. And when this person truly realized this and felt it, breathed it, and just knew that they are the greatest gift, that they are the most beautiful thing in the world, they realized that that person was you.